Hi, I'm back with more family-friendly content that's guaranteed not to get demonetized immediately upon upload. Meet Shamima Begum. She left the UK in 2015 to become an ISIS poster girl, and now she wants to come back. I'm a jihadi, get me out of here.
I was hoping that maybe for the sake of me and my child, they let me come back.
Computer says no.
ISIS. Free housing and child benefits. ISIS don't pay child benefits.
I don't see why he would see me as a threat. I'm a 19-year-old girl with a newborn baby. I don't have any weapons. I don't want to hurt anyone, even if I did have weapons or anything. So he has no proof that I'm a threat. Other than that, I was in ISIS. Other than that, I was in ISIS. Other than that, I was in ISIS.
But no, she's got a point. We've all woken up one morning and wanted to just jump on a plane and go somewhere warmer. The fact that in the process of doing that, she chose to join an Islamic terror group that burns people alive in cages. Only racists and Islamophobes would see that as a threat.
I was in ISIS.
She said that seeing decapitated heads in trash cans didn't faze her because the victims had sinned against Islam.
So this is my 6th marriage. I've been widowed 5 times. 6 times.
Shamima settles back into the British lifestyle. Severed heads. She said that the Manchester bombing, which killed and wounded dozens of children, was justified retaliation.
Some of the kids from Manchester who were killed in the Manchester arena, you must have heard about that attack. What did you think about that?
I didn't know about the kids, actually. And it's kind of retaliation, so I thought, okay, that is a fair justification.
She said that ISIS-controlled Raqqa, where dissenters' heads are put on spikes, was a good place to live. She said she joined ISIS for a laugh.
Why did you do that?
Funny.
And the left-wing media's universal reaction? Come on in! We need to show her compassion. New York Times. ISIS wives seek redemption. For the past week plus, Begum and her entire family have been given a sympathetic platform to tell their sob story.
I think a lot of people should have sympathy towards me for everything I've been through. I was in ISIS.
You get more of a fair shake in the MSM if you literally joined ISIS than if you're a smirking teenager in a MAGA hat. The same media who wouldn't lift a finger to help Asia Bibi, a genuine refugee, a Pakistani Christian who was under imminent threat of being murdered by Islamists, can't shove a microphone in Shamima Begum's face quick enough to let her plead her case. Sees severed heads in bins, meh, gets UK citizenship revoked. Shocked! Shamima, I'ma join ISIS, lol. UK government, no more citizenship. Shamima, what? And of course it was just a harmless teenage mistake to join an Islamic death cult that drowns people en masse and beheads children. Just a harmless mistake. We've all been there. We've all done it. No! A harmless teenage indiscretion is being caught smoking behind the bike shed. It's topping up your parents' spirits bottles with water. It's not travelling to a war-torn shithole to join the most barbaric, bloodthirsty, rapacious horde since the days of Genghis Khan. It's not enthusiastically throwing your support behind a group that throws gay people off buildings and then waving your hand dismissively at the sight of decapitated heads in bins. That ain't it, Chief. But it's not just the British media prostrating itself as a platform for wannabe terrorists. ABC News says former ISIS member Hoda Mathana is full of regret. She's begging to come home. Poor thing. It's also interesting to observe how the same Twitter mobs who habitually destroy people's lives for the most irrelevant minutiae suddenly come over all sympathetic and protective when it comes to literal ISIS terrorists. Wore a Chinese dress to prom. We must destroy this person's life completely. Willingly joined ISIS. We gotta hear this heartbreaking story. Everyone deserves a second chance. She was young and made a mistake. Boycott his films, he should never work in Hollywood again!
You guys don't have empathy for that Bethnal Green girl because she doesn't look enough like a victim. Not trembling in the corner, not crying, not girlish, and most of all, not white. Your commitment to survivors is predicated on how much their victimhood appeals to you. It's ugly.
She's just a nice, normal girl from Bethnal Green. You only dislike her because she's brown. That whole part about her willingly joining a terror group that used machine guns to publicly slaughter 13-year-old boys for the crime of watching a soccer match. Just a harmless mistake. We've all done it. We've all been there.
I was in ISIS.
And after all, we have to support women. Yeah, where was your sympathy for the Yazidi women who were burned alive for refusing to become sex slaves for Islamic jihadists? Where was your sympathy for the Syrian and Iraqi women who saw their husbands and sons beheaded because they adhered to the wrong branch of Islam? Where was your sympathy for the Kurdish women who suffered under brutal ISIS occupation? Left-wing Twitter says we should instantly forgive someone for joining ISIS. That 48-year-old John Wayne interview where he used a gay slur, though, dig up his long-dead corpse and make him apologise now. But I'm sure Begum is sincere when she says she wants to return to Britain and live in peace. And you can tell that sentiment is genuine by the name she chose to give her newborn baby. At the behest of her terrorist husband, she named him after a jihadi warlord infamous for massacring Jews and slaughtering infidels. So peaceful. So Shamima Begum is nothing to do with Bangladesh, despite being of Bangladeshi heritage and born to a Bangladeshi mother because she was born on British soil. Her baby that was born in Syria, though, oh, he's totally British. He's as British as fish and chips. Come on in. But don't worry, because if she is eventually allowed back in, authorities have promised us that she'll be spoken to. Meanwhile, British citizens get harsher treatment for criticising transgenderism on social media. But isn't it worth the risk of having her back? After all, you're not against diversity, are you? I mean, let's just forget the fact that 3 times more British Muslims joined ISIS than joined the British Army. I was told diversity was a strength. West Yorkshire Police certainly think so. We only went and won. We are Diversity Champions of the Year 2019. Hashtag diversity, hashtag positive action. The Islamic grooming gang paedophiles who operated for 7 years without being caught by West Yorkshire Police, who trafficked, raped and abused girls as young as 11, not so diverse. As Brendan O'Neill writes, the progressive elite's sympathy offensive on behalf of Begum betrays the fact that they've wedded themselves to the multicultural mantra at any cost, even if that means literally welcoming back into the country ISIS militants and their supporters. She is cleverly exploiting a culture that she knows full well exists in modern Britain, writes O'Neill. A culture of reluctance when it comes to criticising hardcore Islamists too harshly, and a tendency to feel a cloying, racially tinged pity for any Muslim who falls in with bad people. Begum is tapping into and seeking to utilise the UK cultural elite's caginess about condemning Islamic extremism, and this is likely to reap benefits for her.
Too much of the coverage, in my view, and even some of the chatter coming from politicians, has been overly sympathetic to her, as if she were a victim. The victims are the people who were massacred and butchered and enslaved and beheaded by the movement she joined, and, more importantly, by the movement she still apologises for, even though she's now a 19-year-old woman.
And yes, I understand the perspective of those who say it sets a dangerous precedent to give the government power to revoke someone's citizenship. But at the end of the day, Shamima Begum and her entire family can go fuck themselves. We made the mistake before of letting Islamic terrorists back into the country, and it didn't go so well. The Royal Navy rescued Salman Abedi from Libya and brought him back into the UK 3 years before he carried out the Manchester bombing. Let's not make that mistake again, because the cost is too horrific to even consider. And anyway, if Shamima Begum had wanted to be part of a radical extremist group that hates Jews and attacks anyone who disagrees with their warped ideology, she could have just joined the Labour Party. Please click the big red button to subscribe. It really helps me when you do that, and click the bell to allow notifications so you never miss a new video.